Hello, everyone, and especially my followers. So, welcome, guys. Today, we are going to build the first React component. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to build the custom components in React.js. And you will also learn about the importance of custom components and how to use them in your React application. So, let's get started and build your first React component. So guys, this is our app.js, the default component which we are using in the app index.js. So as you all know that app component is by default added in the React when we first time create the project, and it's binding, you can say injecting to this get element by ID root, right? So as I already told you in the public, you can find this index file and there is a div which has id root and it's binding to that. So let's suppose this is the first component. So let's suppose if I need to add something, say hello world. This is the first component app.js. So if I go and look at the website, it shows hello world because this component app.js is injecting into this uh, root id and showing the output. But now let's assume I write some more lines which something like this. This return is basically I explained in the last video about JSX, what is JSX and how this all is working. You can see on the previous video, you can go on my channel Amar Parvez, and there you can see video number 15 which explains JSX in ES6 React.js. So in detail, I have discussed about the JSX in React.js, and you can find out more details about the JSX and how it's working in React.js. So it's by default, by mistake, it is reading ESX. I will remove ES6. I will remove it. Don't worry, guys. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the first component. I'm returning the H1 rev, and then I'm returning the H3 and how we can create the custom components. So you can see the output here. This is the output. What are the React components? Actually, guys, React components very easy thing. It is not any difficult thing you do not need to worry about. It is something you can say an artifact that is one of the individuals part of which a composite entity is made up of. Let's suppose you have a bike and you have multiple components in the bike like tires, seat, headlight, horn, clutch, and many more things. And in the car, you can say spare parts, spare components of the car, or many things. On the website, if you see, this is don.com. It's a news website. So you can see here there are multiple components, must-read stories. There is some high related stories. There are some headings, navbars, headings, search options. This is a different component. These all menus are different components. Main heading, top bar is different component, and this slider is different component in this website. And there are many more components. Top authors are different component. The website is completely divided in multiple components. React also give us opportunities that we can create the multiple components of our pages, of our single component, also of our complete page, of our one section. Like you can see here, this is the top bar, and we can have a different component for the logo, different component for menus, and different component for search bar. We can create a we can select one part of the web page and also create multiple components. And also we can select one complete page and also create the multiple components for that. Even we can have multiple component for single mm, action as well as. So let's see here. Here in our example, we are only our components only performing one action. There's this component is only showing the H1 ref and H3 ref. We can write custom components now. So let's get started. How we can create our custom components and how we can handle those components. So now I'm going to create a folder here, components, right? In the components folder, I'm going to write something, you can say, let's suppose I'm going to write students record. I can choose from the top file as options as well as students file .js. All the files in when we write in React, we need to pass .js for React files extension. And now I can write here function. One thing to remember, guys, and when we are going to write the component in React, we try to pass one functionality in per component. Don't try to make a messy or complex components. Try to make multiple components if you have a complex situation, but don't try to pass the multiple function in one single component. So this is my suggestions to all of you. Component name, students records. I can copy from here. And this is a function. This is one functionality. And here I'm going to return I am student component. Students record component. Yeah. So this is the first component, right? So as you all know, when we need to import this component somewhere because I need to call this component to show somewhere, so I need to export this component as well as. So for export, I will write export default. I explain this export and import logics in detail in on my ES6 session. You can find those from the web my channel. Here are all the videos of ES6. In ES6, I explain in detail that what is import and exports and how you can use them. In Modulus, I explain this logics in quite detail in video number 13. So I'm exporting this component. That means that I can call this component somewhere. So now, guys, let's assume that now if I need to show this component, I do not need to remove this logic because here I need to show this component on this page, right? Whatever we have in the app.js, because if we have 10, 20,000 or maybe more components, we are not going to remove the component here and show attached to this our root element. What we need to do, we will add all our custom components. We can make this app as a main component, and we can add all the components here because this is I can say the main component of the application, main page of the application, and we can add and remove the components and on this functionality, right? Because if we are going to remove this component and we are directly going to handle all the components in index.js, it would be quite difficult to remember and quite difficult to manage things, right? So what I will say, if I need to use the component here, adding a new custom component, because this is a custom component which I just created, right? And for adding the custom component, what I need to do, yeah, I need to pass the component name and this, but it shows me error. Student record is not defined. All of you know that when I need to import this component in any other class or any other component or any other function, we need to import it first. So for importing, I will write import and then I will write component name from components, right? And component name. So now there is no error. Now I go on the website. So this is the new component. I'm a student record component. Yeah. So congratulations, guys. You have created a new record of component. So now if I add multiple components here, adding first, adding second, and adding third. Wow. So guys, you can see here, I just created the component one time, but it is how it is reusable. This is the actually, you can say, strong part of the React. I just created the component one time, but I can use it multiple time, one time, 100 time, thousand of time. So this is why the React is best in it. The reusability of the components, right? So this is my first component. So I hope you understand how we need to create a component and how we can use them in our applications. So in the next, I will show you how you can create the custom components, complex components, and how you can add the CSS to it. So thank you very much, guys. Stay tuned with me and enjoy and learn the React.js in depth. I will explaining all these sessions with my industry experience, and I hope you will enjoy it and you will learn and you will comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a good day, guys. And don't forget to subscribe it. Thank you.